So Somalians are trying to drag black Americans into their fight. Check this out.
But Trump based his order on a report whose author has made it clear that his goal is to denationalize and deport as many Somali Americans as possible. This is not about crime. It's not about safety. This is about purging people like me from this country. Minnesota has always been a welcoming place for people fleeing a home country that is battered by war, poverty, and hunger. Europeans in the 19th and 20th century, Black Americans from the South, Hmong.
That was a call for allyship, and they threw the race card out there. We're all black. What happened to I'm not black, I'm Somalian? And what happened to the call of allyship when y'all was scamming Minnesota out of hundreds of millions of dollars? They only pull out the race card when it's beneficial to them, because before this, they'll tell you, you're jealous because Somalians are driving Priuses. And there's no allyship when they taking advantage of all these government assistance programs. HUD, public housing, they're not going to let you in their building that they're in. And these are the same people that will tell you, if you black American Somalians will say, hey, my people came over here in planes and your people came over here in shackles and chains. Keep that same energy. I respect that. Since me and my peoples came over here in shackles and chains in a ship, I'm porting my ship right here. This is where I'm going to port my ship. Don't use black as a race card. Don't use black when it's beneficial. Keep that same energy. You not black, you Somalians. You not black, you Nigerians. Keep that same energy. Because when it's time to benefit off these government programs, like housing, all that stuff, they lock other people out. They don't care about nobody else but their own people. So why you yelling allyship now?
And now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at, I hear they ripped off Somalians. Ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care.
Greetings everyone, welcome back to my channel once again, and if it's the first time that you're coming my content, I will kindly request that you hit the like, subscribe and the share button, as this will go a long way in supporting my channel. And in today's episode, I will be reviewing the current trending issue about the deportation of Somalis from the United States. And in this specific episode, you are seeing that the Somalis are trying to get the Black American community involved, as they believe that they share a common ancestry, that is being African Americans. Well, the Black American community had this to say, and kindly watch the rest of this episode as I come with my commentary at the end of it.
Most people understand why I said that's none of my business on my last video when it came to what Donald Trump said. But for those who are on my YouTube channel talking about why are you saying it's none of your business, it's not any of my business. I voted for Kamala Harris. And it looks like the population up there withheld their votes because of what was going on with Israel and Gaza. They withheld their votes, a lot of them. A lot of them voted for Harris, but a lot of them put their votes on Trump. And they withheld their votes from Harris. So that's why I say it's none of my business. Here's some pictures, though. Because that's who they wanted in power. And that's who they got. It's none of my business.
Let's talk about why Somalis say, oh no, we're not black. As a Somali who does claim her blackness, I want to explain this with love. Because that statement comes from history, survival, and sometimes pain. First, Somalia isn't a part of the Western world. In Somalia, a deeply homogenous community, there's no reason to say you're black. Everyone looks like you. For example, like Nigeria, people identify by tribe or nation, not race. Race, as a qualifier especially, only becomes relevant to most Africans when they leave their country and step into a world that sees them through that lens. During colonization, Europeans didn't just divide our land, they divided our identities. Somalis were mistakenly told, ooh, you look different, you're closer to Arab, you're better. Those lies that were told by whiteness seeded the anti-blackness that still lingers today. And because Somalia was not colonized in the exact same way as other African countries, many Somalis grew up thinking that blackness was synonymous with oppression, something to escape, not embrace. But Western propaganda is global, honey. So in the same way that they show African Americans or all Americans in general that Africans are barbaric and starving, they show African Americans to the rest of the world as lazy thugs who are not to be trusted, violent. Many Somalis arrive here as refugees and want to rebuild their lives and think, if I distance myself from this label, maybe I'll be safe. There's still no excuse. My own mother, who struggles with anti-blackness and hates my dark skin, would always tell me, don't be a yo-yo, don't be a yo-yo. It's pure ignorance, but it stems from fear and lies. Here's the truth. African Americans are the moral backbone of this country. Every right, every protection, every piece of good experience that you are having in America was built through their blood, sweat, and tears. Their resistance, their strategic organizing, their sacrifice, it's the only reason why we have a foothold here today. And as much as Somalis want to say, oh, why do you care about black issues? It's because I'm in gratitude and they deserve reverence and solidarity, not distance and disdain. So if you hear a Somali say, I'm not black, I know black, I know black. So embarrassing. Don't get offended. Pray for them. They're wrestling with a lie that's literally older than them. A lie that was designed to keep us divided. And remember, no matter how lost we are or how far we run, we're still all one. Excuse me, thank you. I'm a black.
Now I'm on this YouTube, and I see where the Somalis don't like black folks. Now I know I'm a little slow, but I didn't know I was that damn slow. Somalis, they black. They don't like black Americans, and they here in America don't like black Americans. Now, I thought black people should be liking on other black folks no matter where they come from because we all in the same boat. You understand? Now these black Somalians is getting deported because they voted for Trump. Look, I did not know you black Somalis didn't like black people, but I'm going to tell you something. If you voted for Trump, you get just what you asked for, just like the rest of them. And I'm glad you're getting shit back to wherever you came from. I'm glad. Because you don't like black people. And now you want us to defend you, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just remember that you got black skin too, and you ain't liking on us. Oh, now you got the wrong enemy. You got the wrong enemy. That's what happens when you sleep with the enemy. Oh.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They would tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third.
This man was up in a mosque, and he said that black Americans don't know who their daddies are. And I'm like, because he comes from a country where 9-year-olds marry old-ass men. Sir, you're a predator. You're a child predator. This is what I'm talking about. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. But why are y'all mad that this administration is doing this type of investigation with newcomers? Because they don't even like you. He gonna say that up in the mosque. And just like, and you know, because black Americans, they're product of one night stands. Sir, I know my daddy, and I'm about to call him and ask him, has he seen this rubbish? Yeah. So I don't understand why black Americans are mad because of this administration doing a proper investigation that they need to be doing in these states and cities like Minnesota. Because how you gonna steal $7 million? You gonna steal $7 million from the government? And the judge threw it out? Who is this judge? How did she do that? What is her husband from? Y'all, I can't. So I'm just trying, you know, if I don't pay my car insurance and I get pulled over, I go to jail because I missed a payment, $200. But you committed, you're fraudulent. I can't even get it out. $7 million. And then they're finding nurses, which they've been finding, with no credentials. Like they stole identities. It's identity theft. So you working on people in the hospital and you're not really you never went to school. And it's a whole bunch of y'all. Now I'm scared to go to the hospital. And then we get mad. We get mad when white people be like, because now it's different. White people will be like, the immigrants. And I'm like, okay, I'm not on your side. Why are you telling me that? You know, Indians gonna take your jobs, you know. Yeah, and I'll be like, relax. We're not having that conversation. It's weird. But y'all, this stuff is getting wild. That's all I gotta say.
I've been saying that black Americans don't have allies for the longest, right? Now, this proves my point. Out there in Minnesota, a young black mother was looking for a daycare to put her children. What do you know? The Somalis run a 24-hour daycare. But when she get there, they don't want to give her a tour. They don't want to service her. And she says,
I tried to send my child to one of the 24-hour daycare centers because it was the only 24-hour daycare in Minnesota. The Somalis would not give me a tour. They did not want me to bring my kids to their daycare. It was because they was doing daycare fraud. Come to find out, another thing with them, they made it very clear their only agenda is to benefit the Somali community. Like,
you know, most of these immigrants, they come here, they don't come here to ally with us blacks. They don't come here to be our friends. They don't come here to service us. They don't come here to be around us. They come here to use America for whatever they can get out of it. That's something that we all have to remember because that's what it is. You open a business here in America, then it's for everyone. You service everyone. You don't come to America to only service your own people. And that's one of the biggest issues that white Americans and black Americans have with all immigrant groups right now in America. You guys come here and you don't even play by the rules because before you had your own place, before you had your own little cities and towns, you had to come to our cities and towns. Guess what? You got all the services you need. So that's one of the biggest issues that black Americans have with all immigrants. You guys come here, you think you're better than us. You don't treat us with any kind of respect. You don't respect our history. You don't respect our language. You don't respect our country. You don't respect us at all, but yet you expect us to respect you. You expect us to put our bodies on the line when ICE is chasing your ass down the street. No, sir, it's never happening again. Believe me, black Americans do not have any allies, and we need to start marching and acting like it and voting and standing on that too.
So the U.S. President Donald Trump has come out and said he's going to remove the temporary protected status that Somalis have in Minnesota so that he can start deporting them. And I just want to say, I absolutely support this as a Nigerian. I need him to remove that status and deport as many Somalis as possible. There you have it. It says, Trump says he is ending temporary deportation protection for Somalis in Minnesota. And I said, as a Nigerian, I support this. Let me explain why. After seeing what y'all did to your own brother in favor of Jacob Frey. You serve no purpose to your own people, to all black peoples. You need to get the fuck out of America. You are a net negative to all black people, to all African people. You need to get the fuck out. Because you live in America where you see white people unite behind race. But you decided that because someone, a Somali, is from a different tribe, different clan, someone who wants the best for you and your people, someone who wants the best, bringing representation, who is going to put in laws and measures to protect you and your community. You said, nah. He's not from my tribe. Let the Jew win. Let Jacob Frey win. Africans have shown they would rather take suffering from someone they love than take enjoyment from someone they hate. Let me explain something. 100 years from now, there are going to be archaeologists that technology would have advanced to the point that they would find bones on the floor and just scan it and it'll tell all the information. Let me tell you, those two clans that refuse to vote for each other, when those archaeologists scan it, I can promise you it's not going to show clan difference. The archaeologists, you understand where this is coming from. You Africans, and this applies to Nigerians too, they just haven't focused on us. But Nigerians will leave Nigeria, where they carry tribalism, everything, come to America. Bring their tribalism here. Be here. See every other people. See the Latinos united. See the whites united. See the Arabs united. They will still say, that's so amazing. I would never unite to that tribe. I would never unite. I absolutely support that shit. Donald Trump needs to deport as many fucking Somalis as possible, because if you're gonna come here after so many years and you still don't know how to unite as a people, you serve no purpose. You are absolutely worthless to the rest of us. And you should not be in this country. You need to get the fuck out. You need to get the fuck out.
Trump is calling for the deportation for Somali people, and he is sending ICE into the Somali community. Black people, you might want to sit this one out. Even though you can look at the Somali people and see that they have black, brown skin, you cannot tell them that. They say they don't look like black people. The culture is different. They don't want anything to do with blackness and black culture. They do not fuck with black people, and they get mad if you call them black. And the sad part is, this is deeply rooted. They are taught this shit in the churches, in their communities. Just take a listen to how they talk about black people.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, or most of them, were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third.
Somalis are not black. Let me explain why. Looking at me right now, chat, am I black? I'm literally brown. I'm literally brown, bro. Think about it as well. Somalis are Arabs.
Are you guys black? Are Habesha people black?
I would consider.
We are Somalis, not black. There, I said it.
Somalis are not black. There's a difference between African and black.
Somalia, which is barely a country, you know, they have no anything. They just run around killing each other. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage.
Now, I'm not saying all Somalis feel like this. And I'm not saying that what Trump is doing is right. All I'm saying is, I'm going to just sit this one out. Do what y'all want. But let me know what you think in the comments.
Why did I see a tweet today talking about the fact that Trump is targeting Somali people in Minnesota is going to put Black Americans at risk? I don't think so. I think that Black Americans and Somali people don't look anything alike, first of all. Second of all, they don't even consider themselves black.
We are Somalis, not black. There, I said it.
Somalis are not black. Let me explain why. Looking at me right now, chat, am I black? I'm literally brown. I'm literally brown, bro. Think about it as well. Somalis are Arabs. We're in the Arab leagues. We speak the Arab language. We eat the Arab food. Bro, think about it like this, bro. If a whole community doesn't regard themselves as black, we can't be black, bro.
Somalis are not black. Now, before you disagree with me, I just want to say, listen, right? There's no such thing as the term black. The term black only came about in colonization. I don't have to accept that, Sahib. That's why the other day when I was in a place, someone said to me, "Are you black?" I said, "I'm not black, Sahib. I don't accept that term."
Somalis are not black. There's a difference between African and black.
You think that a person, any person, can't tell the difference between a black American and a Somali person? I don't think so. I think that you can tell the difference between a Somali person and a black American person. Like, I really do. And I'm just saying.
Well, for beginners, we need to understand the current trending issue in the United States, and that is the mass deportation of the Somali Americans, which was triggered by the recent high-profile fraud case by some Somalis who are involved in multiple cases of fraud, with the most notable one being about the autism support, that it is believed that these Somali individuals managed to siphon millions and millions of United States citizen money and used it for their own personal benefit. And it's also believed that these funds that were siphoned from these fraudulent activities were also used to finance some extremist groups both in the United States and Somalia. As we all know right now, Somalia has been a country that has been in the dark for quite some time now, and the country right now is mad with wars, hunger, and drought that has seen more than 3.8 million Somalis immigrating to other countries to seek safety and a chance at having a better life. However, for the Somalis located in the United States, we are seeing that Trump has officially launched a program which is being facilitated by the Immigration and Custom Enforcement Unit, commonly known as ICE, and we are seeing that in this massive move, Trump is deporting Somalis, as he has also revoked the TPS for the Somalis, which again is a small group of individuals, about 705 members, who are seeking asylum in the United States. And as you've seen in the previous clips, the ICE agents are again becoming ruthless, that is in deporting the Somalis from Minnesota, and it's being targeted mainly in the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul's. However, we are seeing the liberals coming out to defend the American Somalis who are getting deported, and they are claiming that this move by Trump of trying to deport all the Somalis based on the action of a few corrupt individuals is quite unfair and illogical, as it is believed that not all Somalis are involved in this fraudulent activity. However, we again are getting to see another turn out in this current trending online phenomenon of Somalis being deported from the United States. And in this case, we are seeing that Somalis are trying to call out the Black American community, who have been known to be well vocal, especially when it comes to fighting for their rights and the rights of the African Americans all through history, dating back to Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, among other vocal Black Americans who fought for the civil rights that the Black Americans are enjoying right now. And in this case, we are seeing that the Somalis are trying to trigger this support from the Black community, and in this case, the Black community is reacting rather differently. And well, there is a reason to this. And going back to history, we understand that most of the American Somalis don't like identifying as Africans. Even here in Africa, as personally I'm coming from East Africa, most Somalis believe that they are more related to Arabs, as they have softer hair and rather lighter skin. And during the colonial period, we are getting to see that the colonizers usually like to give these false ideas to the Somalis, as they believe that they look different from the other Africans, and this gave the Somalis these notions that they are more related to Arabs than to Africans. And now in the United States, you are seeing that the Black Americans are actually using this statement to turn around the Somalis. They believe that the Somalis are only calling them out to support them during this crucial moment, as they are running out of choices, and they are taking this issue as an last minute resort to try and win over these harsh deportation and immigration policies that is being propagated by Donald Trump. Well, again, you'll get to see there has also been a very thin line that has always separated the Somali people and the Black American community in the United States, as the Somalis have always been vocal about not being Africans. Although there is massive evidence that they are from East Africa, and still they always chose to not identify as Africans. And so in this case, you're seeing that Black Americans are choosing to step back and they're choosing not to get involved in this. As you all understand that these Somalis also settled in states that were mainly Black dominated. And having lived with them for quite some time now, I believe that there are several differences that these individuals have got to encounter with each other that has caused this rift that we are seeing currently. And if you watch the clips again, you'll see how the Black community are talking about the Somalis. And especially this comes after a viral clip of an imam, or let's say a sheikh, who was talking bad about Black American individuals not having fathers. And you see this has gotten down to the nerves of most Black Americans who are now choosing to stand back and not get involved with the deportation of the American-Somalis. Again, from the clips, you're seeing that some Black Americans are claiming that the American-Somalis aligned with the Republicans and chose not to vote for Kamala Harris. And so they're taking this as a far moment for the Somali people as they get to pay for the choices that they made. And this entire action of deportation of Somalis has been under the radar of Trump's administration. As you all know that recently Trump also banned the immigration of individuals from several African countries, with Somalia being one of them. And with the recent case of fraudulent activities, we are seeing that Trump has now come in full force to try and enforce the immigration policies that he's always had, and that is deporting immigrants who he believes are in the country illegally. And this war against illegal immigrants, and not only the Somali community, is a much recurring factor in America right now, and we are going to see more and more deportations happening. And for the Somali community in the United States right now, it's just a matter of time before we get to see how the event will finally turn out, with the liberals coming out with guns blaring and calling out Trump's government, as they believe that it is morally and ethically unjustifiable to send individuals back to countries that are war torn, as this will be a threat to their lives and that of their families. And again, we are getting to see Americans also reacting to it, and they're believing that Trump is doing what they exactly voted for him to do. And so there's this mixed reaction from Americans, that is from the far right and the far left. And it's quite of a hot online debate right now. And I will also request that you share your thoughts and ideas with me in the comment section as we get to interact. As again, this marks the end of this episode. Thank you once again for watching to this end, and see you in the next one.